Hey YouTube family and fans of YouTube. I am Darlene. I'll be doing a reading for you today, but it's going to be a little different because I have a little different something coming through today. So, I'm listening. Just a second. Okay, thank you. So, I'm recording this day before Thanksgiving here in the United States, and I hope you all are busy with your family and safe, not traveling on the road. Maybe you're all safe where you are going, and just appreciate your families. Just appreciate, if you don't have family, appreciate what you do have. You know, we're very blessed in this country, especially in this country, to have so much freedom and so much latitude, and you know, just the services that we have. I could go on for hours, but I don't want to get off track, but just find something to be thankful for, and maybe even say it out loud. You know, I like to start my day with that. I like to start my day when I first open my eyes. I start naming things that I'm thankful for, and it really sets the pace for my day many days. It's a wonderful practice, so I recommend that for all of you too. All right, to the reading. I have a priest coming through today. Okay, I've never had a priest come through, so this is interesting. And his message is not for anyone in particular. I realize I probably am shaking that table, which is shaking the camera, so I apologize if I'm doing that. Yeah, he's not coming through with any particular a message for a particular person, I don't feel. And that's why I said this is a little different. He's got just a general message, and it was rather like an aha when he crossed over. So he has some things he wants to share about that. And let me stop talking for a second now and bring that energy back in closer to me. Just a second. I want to preface this though before I get into his message, and I hope you'll join me for. I'm going to start doing some lives once I get to 1,000 subscribers. So hit that notification bell, and if you're subscribed, you'll get notified, and we'll be having more live talks, and I'll be doing that as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. So y'all, thank you, by the way, for everybody who is already subscribed and who supports me here. Thank you so very much. All right, but back to, I was going to say, we'll be having more of these kind of discussions when I do these lives. I don't want to get too much off into that. I want to bring through the message he has today, but I have 2 cents to share about this from my perspective. So he is saying he said he got it wrong, but it wasn't that so much that he got it wrong as he just didn't have, I'm trying to put this into words, his vision was not broad enough. That's what he's saying. It wasn't, but he's saying, but he's correcting me, but I did get some things wrong. So he's saying one thing, and again, now this is, let me be clear. I have my own opinions and my own experiences about what's on the other side, okay? This is coming from someone I am channeling. Now, I have a belief that depending on the path that you have embraced and or were born into, it determines some of your experience when you cross over. And so bear that in mind, that this is coming from his perspective. I am not here to support or discount any religion. This channel, nor I am not about that. I am just bringing messages through, and so please bear that in mind. This is a message from someone who's coming through. This is his experience One person. So don't think necessarily that this is the end-all be-all of what it's like on the other side. That means, make your own mind up about that. If some of it resonates and some of it doesn't, then take what resonates and don't get incensed about it or don't embrace it if you're not comfortable with that. Again, I'm not here to tell you what is fact or not. I can only go on my own experiences. So, all that being said, pardon me, he says when he got to the other side, his religion had taught him there is very distinct, very black and white heaven and hell. And he's saying that was not his experience. That he got it wrong. That's what he's talking about. He got it wrong about that. He's saying that there are levels. And I do know my particular spiritual path is a synthesis of Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. And in the certain Asian belief systems, they believe there are levels to heaven. I believe they say there are 7 levels to heaven. So maybe that's right. I don't know. I'll have to send y'all a postcard when I get over there. But according to this soul that I'm bringing through, he's saying there are levels, and he's saying he was surprised. He thought he was going straight from here to, the feet of God. And he did not have that experience. He's saying it turns out he's somewhere in the middle. He said, I was somewhere in the middle. If there were 7 levels, let's say he was on level number 4 or wherever in the middle. And I naturally had to ask, well, what was your experience about hell then, if that was your experience of heaven? And he said, well, I knew it was there. I could feel it, like he showed me a picture of sort of standing. It's like if you were standing in the prairie and you could see for miles and you could see something in the distance. So everything around you is flat, but you could see this like a little tiny mountain range in the distance. It's sort of like he could see it, but he said, I don't know if there were levels. He said probably, but he said it scared me so bad. He said I could feel, he said it was just this, the words he gave me, he said it was a dark morass, a very dark morass like nothing I've ever felt or imagined, and I didn't want to know more. That's what he said. He's got a sense of humor. He's kind of funny. He said, frankly, I wanted to hightail it. I didn't want to know more. Excuse me. And so now he's talking about, but the love, even on the level where he says, I can't even imagine what it's like being on any of those other levels of heaven. He said, because where I am here, it's just more love. That there are no words. There are no words to describe what he's trying to describe, but the amount of love, the level of love. He said we were taught about agape love. He said there's just no words to talk about or describe what is here waiting for us on the other side in terms of love. Let me see. He had some other messages. Let me tune in now just a second. He's talking about, now again, he's talking about himself and his experience. He said he wishes he would have been kinder. He wishes he would have been kinder. And he's giving me an example that is so everyday human for all of us. He's showing me he's standing there after some kind of a service. I don't know if it was a funeral or a wedding or what it was, but he's in his priest clothing, and he's standing there talking to someone, and he's holding their hand and comforting them or whatever, talking to them. But in his mind, he's thinking, oh my gosh, I wish this would be over because I'm so hungry. I just want to go home and eat, and my collar's itching me, and just very human. And all of us do this, right? And he's saying, I just wish I had been more present. I wish I had not done that. I wish I could have been more in the moment and been present with each and every single person I encountered. And he seems to be, he's making a point about that's something, I think that's his message today, is that something we all need to do, is to try to be more present. And I've heard this saying, and I may not get it right, but when we listen, we're not really listening. Instead, we're thinking about how we're going to respond to whatever that person is saying. And I think that is so very true. I'm very guilty of that. I don't mean to be, but it tends to be human nature. And so I think that is the point he's making, is if I could tell people to do one thing, be kind. He said it's not so much about these big grand acts. It's the everyday, one-on-one actions of kindness and interaction that you do with other people. Bottom line, I feel like that's the mainstay of this message he wants to bring through today. And let me see if there's something else he wants to say or share. He's making the point, and he's saying, he's very expressive. I mean, physically expressive, like jumping up and down, and he's just very expressive with his hands and all that. So I don't know if he was like that in real life, or he's just happy to be where he is and expressing himself that way. But he's saying, and least of all, he's not saying most importantly, he's saying, and least of all, you should be kind to yourself. You should be most present of all things with yourself. Because how many of us every day, we're agonizing over what happened, or we're agonizing over solving some problem in the future, or what we can or can't do, or what, I'll put these on for a second. And we're not being very present. Let's just say it. We're not being very present. And he's just making a point. And that's funny. He just said, I think that's something that the Buddhists got right that we didn't get right over here in my religion. He said that they have more of an emphasis on being present. Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Father? He's saying, I wish I'd played more practical jokes, but in a loving way. Apparently, he thought about it, but never did it. He said it wasn't so much that I wish I'd played practical jokes, but I wish I'd made people laugh more. And he's alluding to the fact that he could have. He had a good sense of humor, and he had the ability to do that. But he's saying he didn't. He always felt like, because of the role he was in, I think he felt like he had to be more serious most of the time. And he's saying, I wish I'd made people laugh more. Oh, this is such a sweet message. My goodness. Anything else? I get the feeling that this is a Thanksgiving message, and that's why this is coming through so differently for me today. And I'm thankful. I'm very, very grateful to Spirit that they allow me to do something like this, something a little different every now and then. I appreciate that from my own experience, but then to give this to you guys too. He's saying, if people just knew, if people would just understand how everything is okay in the end, so don't spend your life worrying and being in fear of things. Take risks. He's saying, it isn't, yes, take risks, but that, I'm trying to get this clear. It isn't so much about taking risk, it's about not living in fear about the outcomes. He said, because, and I know my teacher has said this over the years, is just make a decision. And if you get down the road a bit and you feel like that wasn't the best decision, make another decision. It's really that simple. But what he's making the point of here is not living in fear. You live in fear if you make a right decision. You live in fear if you're making a wrong decision. It's fear that holds us back so badly. And that, I mean, that's just a point he wants to make here. Try not to live in fear. And following right that, live in faith. Live in faith. Whatever your faith is, he's saying, whatever your faith is, live in faith. Live in the moment. Be kinder to one another and to yourself. And of course, he's ending with, and be thankful. Be thankful. Oh, that's interesting. He's saying, now that he's on the other side, he said, I can see other places in the universe where people live, and it's not nearly as nice as it is here on planet Earth. If people just knew how beautiful and how sacred this planet was, we wouldn't be doing many of the things we're doing here, and especially to our planet, but each other either. Anything else? Be happy. Be happy, like the song says. Be happy. Celebrate your life. Celebrate others. Work on holding grudges. And he's just coming back to the fear. He's saying that is the most destructive thing, in his opinion. In his opinion, that's the most destructive thing that people do, is they live in fear. They hold themselves back, and they poison themselves. He's actually saying that. So strive to find something to be happy about. Okay? Thank you. And I was guided to, I haven't pulled this deck out. I don't think it's been here on YouTube, but it's the, wait a minute. Yeah, the Four Agreements. It's a card deck. They're not tarot cards, but it's called the Four Agreements. And I'm going to shuffle and see. I just felt moved to to pull these today. Even I don't know. We'll see what comes up. So bear with me 1 second while I shuffle these, and we'll get us a little message here. Oops, they're a little sticky. They're a little sticky. I need to shuffle them a little bit more. I don't think I've used them too much either. Okay, Spirit, what message would you like to bring through to my viewers today? One more time. What message would you like to tell my viewers today? Okay. Ooh, they really are sticky. Okay. Okay, be impeccable with your word. Realize the power of your word. Can you see that? Realize the power of your word. And that is certainly true with manifestation. And what we were just talking about, kindness too. Your word is the power that you have to create. It is the gift that comes directly from God. Wow. That's poignant. I'm going to leave that out. I want to take that one in myself. So be kind to each other. Remember that your words are like magic wands. Your words are like magic wands, not only for yourself, but for other people. And that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. I wish you all a happy holiday and a safe holiday, and I'll see you all again very soon. Many blessings. Bye-bye.